you got 6-point stars and you got 5-point stars, right?
Yeah.
The 5-point star in witchcraft is Satan's actual head. It's the pentagram.
Just like in them fraternities, the same way in the gang culture, you got to denounce that stuff too.
When you come in covenant with a woman or a virgin, when you consecrate that marriage, it's blood. It's a covenant that comes with that. Well, when you belong to a gang, or when you come in, there's blood that comes with that too.
So jumping in is like
that's one of the
scars and the stuff like that.
So there's only a baptism, a satanic baptism, or a blood covenant that you have with that. Either it's gonna be your blood or somebody else's blood. And a lot of it, if you look into it, man, is Masonic. Yeah. The 6-point star, whether you know it or not, is a Baphomet signal too. Cause look, when a 6-point star connects together,
666.
That. And then also it's 2 pyramids. Yeah. One is going down, one is going up.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Baphomet, Satan sits there with his hands up and his hands down. Yeah. What is above is below. Books. It's books, it's laws that they teach you, man, to stand by. It's in the symbolism of gang. Pyramids, you have 6-point stars, you have snakes, you have swastika. Yeah. How do you go to these names where you're actually defying the Bible? You know what I'm saying? I'm a disciple, I'm a gangster disciple. Yeah. I'm a vice lord, is what's saying. I'm like, that's like saying vice president. I'm the Lord next to Lord. Yeah. And these is oaths that you take, man. You pledge allegiance. Every time you throw up a pitchfork, you're representing Satan. You're telling Satan, hey, I'm gonna do your will.
Yeah. E, what do you do, bro? Another week.
Man, what's up, Will?
We back here, right?
Yeah, we back, brother.
Man, that last episode was powerful, man.
I feel it 100%, man. Yup.
Man, I know what we're doing is gonna touch people.
That's what we doing it for. 100.
Yeah. And I know your story is gonna touch people, bro, because we see a lot of stuff about, secret societies. We see a lot of stuff about fraternities.
Yeah.
And people are always talking about it from like a Greek letter standpoint.
Yeah,
you know what
most
I mean?
Definitely, right.
I've seen a lot of people recently denounce, a lot of things. And you see that one about that episode of, what's that dude's name?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, yeah.
Yeah, and he had, I can't remember the lady name, but she was from a fraternity.
Yeah.
And she talked about how, like really there's no way to not give reverence to Lucifer and being an attorney, for
and I've been saying this for probably 15 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it just so happened that right now is the time that everybody talking about it. And I know one of the things that we connected on is you believe the same way.
Yeah, most definitely.
The reason I wanted to do this, man, I wanted to say, you know what, we got this thing where we just kind of like talking, or we kind of like giving people game on what we've been through.
Right, yeah, most definitely.
But it's something about your story that I feel like is not talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people, they got a little taste of it because you grew up in gang culture.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But one of the things I know that they don't know is just like in them fraternities, the same way in the gang culture, you got to denounce that stuff too.
Oh, man.
Like you take oaths there, right?
You take oaths. Let me say this, man, because I think this is kind of crazy. And I think the Holy Spirit been positioning this to be talked about for a minute. When you come in covenant with a woman and she does it the way God intends and she's, a virgin or something, right? When you consecrate that marriage, it's blood and you know what I'm saying, right? And it's an oath. It's a covenant that comes with that. Well, when you belong to a gang, or when you come in, there's blood that comes with that too, because they jump you in. You know what I mean?
So jumping in is like
that's
you
one
get
of
the scars and the stuff like that.
Man. Like you think about it, you dripping blood from your mouth or whatever, however it may come from being in a gang. Or you get blessed in. So there's only a baptism, a satanic baptism, or there is a blood covenant that you have with that. Either it's going to be your blood or somebody else's blood.
See, and that's the thing, man. Like, I was in the streets, but I ain't never, like, I stayed far away from gangs, you know what I mean? Especially, like, you know, we had them little sets
Clicks.
where we was clicking.
Everybody would shake up, throw up something,
like, the level that you was on a level where, like, you literally know the
literature.
The literature and all of that stuff.
Yeah, man. And for most kin folks out there, we know what 720 and 360 mean. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but I will say this. I remember going to Atlanta, and because it was so culturalized here, you know, like it was just something you didn't have to be put in this the right way. You didn't have to be jumped in or blessed in. You just can shake up and now you be called that thing, right? Yeah. I went to Atlanta like that, man. Yeah. And they consider me false flagging. Yeah. So 2 times I got jumped twice. Yeah. And I put my flag on the next day. Got jumped again, and they was like, oh, he a real one. Yeah. And they say, oh, you really want to be a part of this, and I'm going to show you what it means. Yeah. Man, when we go into it, bro, and any real G know, man, it's books. It's books, it's laws that they teach you, man, to stand by. Yeah. And a lot of it, if you look into it, man, is Masonic.
That's what I was going to say.
You got 6-point stars and you got 5-point stars, right? Yeah. The 5-point star, man, in witchcraft is Satan's actual head. It's the pentagram. Yeah. The 6-point star, whether you know it or not, is a Baphomet signal too. Because look, when a 6-point star connects together,
666.
That, and then also it's 2 pyramids. Yeah. One is going down, one is going up. Yeah. So if you look at the Baphomet, Satan sits there with his hands up and his hands down. Yeah. What is above is below. Yeah. You know what I mean? So think about that, bro. Yeah. And then everything that, you know, is in the symbolism of gangs. You have pyramids, you have 6-point stars, you have snakes, you have swastikas. Mm-hmm. You feel what I mean? Yeah. If me and you was just some young cats and we was like, hey, man, let's create a crew. Yeah. It'd probably be like Get Money Boys. You know what I'm saying? Something a little bit more simple. Yeah. How do you go to these names where you're actually defying the Bible? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a disciple. I'm a gangster disciple. Yeah. I'm a vice lord, is what saying. I'm like, that's like saying vice president. I'm the Lord next to Lord. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's you know, a lot of stuff in it that you look into, man, and they said, you know, you know, saying like, ask a real G what does folks, you know, actually stand for. Yeah. And these is oaths that you take, man. You pledge allegiance every time you throw up a pitchfork. Yeah. You're representing Satan. You're telling Satan, hey, I'm gonna do your will. Yeah. And then vice lords, they say they don't throw up no forks or nothing like that. But look, if you throw up a pitchfork and then you throw up a VL sign, that's a fork too. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Throw up a blood sign, that's 666. Mm. Throw up a Crip sign, that's a crescent moon. Yeah. You feel what I mean? Yeah. So
man, it's so deep, bro. And a lot of people, like, you know, like you said, when they said you was false flagging, because when I was younger and in junior high, we had a brother who was totally with the literature. He came from a different place. I think he came from California. And he was like teaching us. He was one of my boy's cousin. And we sitting up here throwing these folks up. You know, they putting them in our hair, cutting it in our hair and stuff like that. And so we didn't know all of that stuff, but we was still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when you look at this world, bro, it's made up with all symbolism. Yeah. And them symbols be meaning something.
Them symbols be meaning something, bro. It's of witchcraft to stack. Yeah. Think about it, bro. You throwing up symbols. A lot of times somebody see you throwing up stuff and can tell what you're saying to them, man. You feel what I mean? Like, you're telling a story. Yeah.
Everything with their hands, all that stuff.
They do the same thing, bro. Yeah. You think that didn't come from them?
No, it absolutely did, right? Man. And so all of that ties in. You know, the crazy part is when I was doing the logo, I sent it to somebody to work on, right? Yeah. And then I put it through chat. I put it through AI, to create, right? And it came back with stars on it around the circle,
right?
I said,
remember,
I said, oh, nah.
That's one of the reasons I really mess with you, bro. We sensitive like a mug, man. Like,
people be thinking I'm crazy for that stuff. Like, I'm not signing up to put none of this stuff.
Come on, man.
No Star of David.
None of that.
That ain't really, I don't even think that's the Star of David. It's the Star of Rimfram.
No,
and that's something that, we're supposed to talk about. But none of these things, man, like... If you look into the music industry, it's so much symbolism, like from the floor checkers, everything. It all comes from the occult. Man, all come from the occult. And then how they brainwashed us, though. It was a conversation I had with somebody. I do my rap thing, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to another person who get on the mic who spit too. I'm like, man. And this was like when it was becoming more fresh and more recognized with the Illuminati, with a lot of this alternative lifestyle as homosexuality into it didn't mix. If you was a gangster, you wasn't wearing a skirt. Doing that, How? Yeah. So it was laws on that in prison. If you do anything like that, you're dead. So I was talking to a brother about that. Like, man, ain't it crazy how they be doing this and stuff? See where his head was at. Yeah. He was like, oh man. He justified it by saying, man, they just doing that to appeal to the gay community. And then I went back into my head and I said, when has that ever in the history of the streets been okay? Yeah. That was confusing to me. Yeah. I was like, man, you really mean that, bro? Like, I was done. We was working in Denzo. I just started doing what I was doing. I was like, I can't say nothing. It's all about compromise, bro. Like, like everybody is in a state of compromise just to get ahead or just to, attain. And that's Lucifer's that's Satan's biggest tool. Like the biggest proverb in the Satanic Bible, do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt. Then we see that with Jay-Z. Yeah. So and that's getting back to like, your story about the gang and stuff. You had told me a story one time, and man, like when you were telling me it, bro, it was like, gee whiz, like I ain't never experienced that. And it was with some gunshots, you know what I'm saying? And I know, like, I've been at parties, I've had homeboys, so I have homeboys get killed and stuff like that. And I've been on the other side one time, but it wasn't because it was aimed at me, you know what I mean? Right. I just want you to kind of tell that story, not like, again, to glorify it or nothing like that, but I just really want the younger generation, the younger men, to see why this ain't really the road. Let me tell my little brother something, man. God is real. The devil is real. He's gonna play for keeps. This is the shortest part of your life. After this is eternity. You know what I mean? So you can, man, I don't care if for 10 years straight you live like a boss, and then after those 10 years you die. Man, that's like holding a piece of sand at a beach and focused on that piece of sand and loving it versus what's behind you is the whole beach. That's the so anyway, man, I don't mean to try to sound smart. I just want y'all to really feel where I'm coming from. What's the scripture that goes with that? It said that the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for a choice pearl. Yeah. And when he find that choice pearl, he sell everything because nothing else had the same value as that pearl. That's good. And that's basically what you just said. You know what I'm saying? Or even the simple one of man, focus your things on the things sights above. Of heaven, things above. So one day, this is me going in and out of Utah. I create my own set, bro. Because in Utah there wasn't a lot of what I represented, and I come up with this name called Life Mob. Life Mob Disciples, to give reverence to the G's. And so when I come back to Utah, it's a war going on here in Michigan between the North and the South. Yeah. I so happened to be a little cooler with the South, and they kind of had a similar name to us because they were mob and we were mob. Yeah. So it was this one scripture I learned, bro. Now, no, I'm younger.
don't got a lot of guns, you know what I'm saying? We got a fresh new clique. We going around, you know, just kind of getting our name out there. People know us, some people know us and all that. And we kind of clicked up with the Southsiders a little bit. But to make a long story short, man, we wasn't really hitting on nothing. It was they war. We were going to a place where a lot of the Southside dudes were. And me and my homeboys was just mobbing out there, no weapons, you know, and there was a big war between them two. And I was saying Psalms 27. My stomach had snakes in it, bro. It was butterflies, something. It was just something felt kind of off, you know. Yeah. We was out there chilling a minute, and I looked to the left. Holy Spirit was already kind of guiding me. Look to the left, and I see these dudes, and they just kind of sitting off in the cut by the staircase. And we was there for a minute. So it was still light outside, but then it got dark. Psalms 27, the Lord is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid of? Yeah. When enemies and foes come upon me to eat upon my flesh, they will stumble and fall. Yeah. This is what I kept saying in my head. Yeah. I'm like, man, you know, my grandma's favorite scripture. I kept saying it because I ended up learning it. Yeah. And I was just saying it in my head. And I remember before we left, man, I told my homeboy, I said, hey, man, grab that little Bible and put it in your pocket. Yeah. Life Mob was a little warped, and we'll get on that later. So anyway, we walking around. I see these dudes off in the cut. One of my homeboys, shout out to my bro Mafio. One of my homeboys say, man, I think one of them said something to me. I'm y'all big brother. I was they big brother too. So, you know. He says, I think somebody said something to me. So he begins walking towards these guys we see off in the corner. I'm like, man, I feel like my little brother go there by himself. And then when I mob, 3 other homeboys mob with us, and we go and we get close. As I'm getting close, my street senses spider senses is tingling. Yeah. I'm already feeling like, hey man, something ain't right. Because I'm still not seeing their face. Yeah. How's we getting this close and I ain't seeing their face, bro? Yeah. And I look and I'm like, dang. They face covered up. You know what I mean? They like, yo, what's up? Yeah, you know, they like you with the hood, y'all mob. My pride. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I ain't with nobody. I said, I'm Life Mob. They like, oh, you mob. I see this man. I see one of them start to grab, and the other one say, no, not yet. All the little homies that's with me ain't looking and paying attention to this. Yeah. So the one that was closest to me, I'm like, man, no, they were my responsibility. I look at them and I'm like trying to keep conversation to make them, you know, fall off like we not knowing what's going on. I grab the shoulder of my homeboy and run backwards and we almost fall. We start running. It felt like the most quietest. It felt like nothing was making noise, bro. It just felt like I was waiting on this bomb to blow up. Yeah. I'm running. You know, like when you playing dodgeball or something. Man, it just, ooh, boo, doo, 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 doo. You know what I'm saying? They start blasting at us. If you can, you know, like quarters going past your ear. Yeah. That's how they was going past me. And I wasn't getting hit. But then I hear my homeboy scream. And I look to the left and I'm like, nothing I can do. He scream and he starts crawling. And when he's crawling, he crawling in the way where he's still trying to use the other leg, but then he falls. Yeah. They come up on him. I'm still running. I'm looking back like, oh man, you know, they come up on him. And he said, man, come on. Just put his hand up. And they hit him 4 more times. Fop, 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 fop. So he lay there, you know, he feeling it. Yeah. I keep running. I look over, my other homeboy and took 2. Boop, boop. He fall to the ground. I'm like, man, we go to the back. I bust in this woman's patio. Yeah. And I'm like, call the ambulance. She like, oh, hey, because I'm muddy and everything. She like, get out. Yeah. So make a long story short, I say all this to say this, bro. God was watching over us. There was no reason they shouldn't have died. No reason, man. He came up to him close, put them bullets in him real, you know what I'm saying, like real close, bro. It was no reason he shouldn't have been executed. And the only thing I could think of is Psalms 27 is me speaking, because for those who don't know, the word is the sword. So, you know, I used the sword that day against the enemy, speaking this, and that's in my sin. In my sin, God still looked out for us. Didn't want us to get to eternity on that other end and face that we have to be away from him.
That's grace.
That's grace, bro.
That's mercy.
That's mercy.
But let me ask you this, because when we were talking about this, you said that one thing that was on your mind was revenge. It was trying to overtake you.
Yeah. So it didn't
talk about that a little bit.
Oh man, blood. It was blood, bro. Soon after I just got done over the fear, it was blood. Who is finna pay for this? And you know what I'm saying? And
well, I don't want you to go all into all of that. But I just want you to, we could cut that out, but I just want you to really, so the revenge and like that level of revenge that you wanted immediately. You know, I had a homeboy who got shot and he made it. You know, he was up in Grand Rapids in the hospital. And when I talked to him, like he was progressing, getting better. You know what I mean? Like he was in bad shape. But the only thing that he could talk about was revenge. Like that was the only thing on his mind. Like, you know, and at this time I was already out of the streets, you know what I'm saying? I was living for God. But he was literally like, that's the only thing. And I thought he was gonna be praising God that he made it. Right. But he was literally thinking about revenge. Right. And shortly after that, he died.
Man, that's deep.
And it was like really sad for me, man, because I felt like, dang, my homeboy probably didn't make it, you know what I'm saying, to the destination, man. Like, he had so much anger in his heart, and I understand it, man, because, like, if somebody take what's yours, like, you know what I'm saying, if somebody try to shoot you or do anything, you know what I mean, like, you don't want it to be just over. Like the way we was raised, it make it like you soft if you don't do nothing.
If you don't do nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But at some point in time, like the cycle got to be broken. So how did you deal? Like, I mean, I'm sure you know y'all went back and forth, and I know you ain't get saved right. You ain't get saved right after that. But what's your thoughts about that piece right there? Just that anger, like, you know,
man, it's all we know is that we got an enemy that's trying to capitalize, bro, and that you can open up doors for him to get. It said in the Bible, guard your heart. Yeah, you know, my heart wasn't guarded. You know what I'm saying? Like I made a covenant. Yeah, and now I got to stand on it. Yeah. You know, man. Listen, I may have been wild, but that wasn't me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. Like I'm a loving dude. Yeah. But I was like, shoot, I'm gonna accommodate. I'm gonna fish in water, I'm gonna swim, you know. So man, so the enemy capitalizes. Oh, I didn't get to kill that one. I can use this for use the revenge, and then there'll be a blood sacrifice that way. If we gonna get deep into it. That's just what it is, bro.
Yeah, man. It's sad, man. I've met only a couple people in my life that I felt like was just evil inside. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I only met a couple of them, bro. Like most of the people who out here doing stuff, like, you know what I mean, living like this, it ain't just like out of pure evil. Like they have very soft, kind sides. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of us keep up facades because that's what we've been taught to do. Through the music, through the movies, through peer pressure and stuff like that. You know, you may develop this tough exterior, and once you go there, it's hard for you to really come.
Now I'm doing a whole bunch of things I ain't cut out for. You know,
yeah. So man, that's why I just wanted to talk to you about that, man, because like I know it's a lot more stuff that went on in your life, but I wanted to at least share one of the stories because what the part that really got to me is you said like. Right after that overwhelming revenge that came over.
Want some blood, right?
Yeah. So, what's your message to the young men that's in gangs? Because again, we know that all fraternities have oaths. Right. You know what I mean? Like the Bible tells us not to even say a pledge, and again, I don't even believe in pledging allegiance to the flag because anything you put.
Covenant,
everything you pledge allegiance to, that means that that's where you serve. You know what I'm saying? And God comes second place to that. You know,
man. We can get so deep, but I'm gonna say this, man. What I would say to the youth is this: if you really about leaving that life, denounce it. Denounce everything that you got involved with, everything that you took oath to, denounce it. They might look at it like it's treason, but there is a God. There is a God and that loves you, and there's a God that will fight for you. I would say, man, denounce that. Give allegiance unto Christ. Mm-hmm. Ask him to come into your life and ask him to guide your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
And, and then, and you'll find peace, man. And it may be hard, but you can do it though. You can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got brothers like us praying for you, and you, that's what I would say.
But listen, if you're going to do that, make sure you all the way in. You can't be half stepping.
Yeah.
Because you already playing a dangerous game. Breaking these oaths, it puts a target on your back. Satan want what he felt like he'd owned, right?
Yeah, he can't playing for keeps. You can't be playing.
And that ain't only with the gangs. That's with the fraternities. That's with anything that you ever took these pledges and you took in these oaths with. You need to let it go.
Let it go.
Only serve the Most High, right?
Right.
And that was real.
That's real talk.
real faith. And remember, you got to listen to what we saying because we your big brothers.